adolescents or young adults diagnosed with cancer will become long-term survivors, and due to advanced diagnostic techniques and better treatment. According to the increased survival after cancer, care has now focused on improving long-term health and quality of life for survivors. One of the most important quality of life issues in the reproductive age cancer survivor is the ability to have biological children. Both chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and sometimes also surgery are toxic to the gonads. In women, damage to the ovary can result in ovarian failure with infertility, symptoms related to low estrogen level, as hot flushes, night sweats, mood changes, vaginal dryness, and so on. In men, damage to the testes can result in an impairing of sperm production, but hormone production is less impaired, so sexual function may continue normally in spite of decrease or no sperm production. The effect of treatment depends on the type of chemotherapy used, the total dose, the gender, the age, especially for the woman. And some treatments are known to be very toxic to the gonad, as high dose of alkylating agents, gonadal radiotherapy, total body irradiation, stem cell conditioning regimen associating total body irradiation and high dose of chemotherapy. The fertility preservation for adult men is much easier, cheaper, and more effective than for women. The semen cryopreservation is the best way for men to preserve their reproductive potential. A semen cryopreservation must be done whatever the treatment. The semen sample are obtained by masturbation before the start of the chemotherapy. The semen collection and the semen cryopreservation are be done in a laboratory of reproductive biology, and if possible, several sperm specimens should be cryopreserved. For the restoration of the fertility, we could be obtain pregnancy after IUI, IVF, or ICSI according to the quality of the sperm after drawing. For female fertility preservation, it's a picture about follicle in the ovary. In the ovary, the oocytes are always surrounded by somatic cells, and the two types of cell makes follicle. In the ovary, there are different types of follicle. The smallest one is the primordial follicle or quiescent follicle, and the growing follicle are primary, secondary, and antrum follicle. All treatments are toxic to the growing follicle. But some treatment has also toxicity to the primordial follicle in the ovary. And in this case, it's very important to propose ovarian fertility preservation for the woman. The main option for fertility preservation are prescription of GnRH analogs, embryo cryopreservation, oocyte cryopreservation, or ovarian tissue cryopreservation. The prescription of GnRH analogs, the mechanism is the suppression of the hypothalamo-pituitary gonadal axis, and the action is the inhibition of the terminal follicular growth. The advantage are the reversibility of the technique. It's quite well tolerated, and they stop menstrual period. But the benefit for, in case of fertility preservation, is very debated. The second technique is embryo cryopreservation. This is the more effective technology. The pregnancy rate is around 18 to 20% per embryo transfer. These results are the results obtained after ART, but not especially in the field of the fertility preservation. Embryo cryopreservation is performed in all IVF centers, but the woman must have a partner. It's not a difficulty in itself, but the patients are very young, often in the field of the fertility preservation. Also, there is an ethical problem because it's more couple fertility preservation than female fertility preservation. And we need an ovarian stimulation with a delay of around 2 to 4 weeks before the treatment of the cancer. And some tumors are present sensitivity to the treatment, and an ovarian stimulation is not effective if the chemotherapy has begun. In the field of the fertility preservation, there are only few results. There is a meta-analysis published in 2012 by Friedler, collected 7 articles concerning 218 patients. The main result was there is less oocyte for cancer patients compared to a control group. A French study published in 2013 about 52 patients shows that the pregnancy rate, the rate of children per couple is around 27%. The third technique of fertility preservation is the oocyte cryopreservation. Mature oocyte is the gamete, and the gamete belongs only to the woman. So there is no ethical problem. And it is also ready for use cell. As you know, I think in this room there is a biologist, and we know used normally mature oocyte. But the mature oocyte is very rare, and you need also an ovarian stimulation, so it's not possible, it's only possible after puberty. The results are, in the field of ART, after slow freezing, pregnancy rate per frozen oocyte is around 3.3%, and after vitrification, the pregnancy rate per vitrified oocyte is around 6.8%. In case of infertility, there are only few results. Anna Kobo published in 2013 an article collected the case report leading to 5 births after oocyte cryopreservation in the field of the fertility preservation. And the first series published the same year by the same team show report for oocyte thawing, 2 pregnancies leading to 1 birth. The last technique of fertility preservation is the ovarian cortex cryopreservation. As you've seen before, the mature oocyte is rare. An ovarian stimulation is not effective if the chemotherapy has begun. There is contraindication for ovarian stimulation. Immature oocytes are numerous, and no ovarian stimulation is required. The advantage of the ovarian cryopreservation is the fact that in the ovary there are a high number of immature oocytes. It can be done very quickly because we are in the field of the cancer and we need to do the thing very quick. It induces no delay for the cancer treatment, and we can do this technique whatever the young age of the patient. And it is feasible also if the chemotherapy has begun. But we need surgery to remove the ovary, and by now there are only few results in terms of birth, because it's not already used cell, and there is the big difficulties now is the using of the ovarian cortex, and it's a new technology. The different steps of ovarian tissue cryopreservation. The first one is the surgery. The ovary is removed during a laparoscopy, and generally we remove one ovary, and the ovary is put in a transport medium and carried until the laboratory. The ovary is prepared. The ovarian cortex is isolated from the medulla, and after cut in small fragments, and each fragment is put in a cryotube containing the freezing solution. After equilibration with the cryoprotectant agent, a slow freezing procedure is practiced. And at the end of this procedure, the ovarian fragments are stored in liquid nitrogen. For each patient, one histological study is performed, and the aim are to do a count of the follicle and characterization of follicles. And the second aim is to look for metastases into the ovarian cortex or in the medulla. As I told you, the difficulty is the use of the ovarian cortex, because in the ovarian cortex the oocyte and the follicle are immature. You have to do maturation of oocyte and follicle. The maturation can be done either in vivo, it's the autograft of ovarian tissue, or in vitro, and this is the ovarian follicular culture. The autograft of ovarian tissue can be done either in orthotopic position, where the ovary was, or in heterotopic position, like you see here under the skin of the forearm. For the results, the first graft is published in 2000 by Octet. The first baby was obtained in 2004 by the team of Donnet, and there is a recent publication from Donnet in 2013 showing graft performed by 3 teams concerning 60 women and 12 children were born. If we take into account the other publication and the results not yet published, there are at least 37 children born in all around the world by now after graft of ovarian cortex. The advantage of the ovarian cortex autograft, you can be obtained natural pregnancy, the endocrine function is restored, but the risk is for some pathology, the reintroduction of the initial pathology. The pathology are classified in 3 groups. There is a group of high-risk pathology like leukemia, Burkitt lymphoma, or neuroblastoma. In this case, it's important to work around the field of in vitro follicular growth to avoid the transmission of the initial pathology during ovarian tissue autograft. But in humans, the folliculogenesis is very long. The pre-ovulatory follicle is very big, and the culture conditions are not well known now. The main results after in vitro follicular growth is the birth of young only in mice. In human, no mature oocyte is obtained by now. The last part of the talk is the fertility preservation for children. For little girls, some chemotherapy are very toxic, even if the patient is very young, even if the patient had a great number of oocytes in the ovary. And the ovarian tissue cryopreservation is the only technique of fertility preservation feasible for young patients. For prepubertal boy, the testicular tissue cryopreservation is proposed since around 2000. In the prepubertal period, there is no production of spermatozoa, but there is a multiplication of spermatogonia. And spermatogonia are the target of some chemotherapy, high dose of alkylating agent or radiotherapy. The aim of the testicular tissue cryopreservation is the spermatogonic cryopreservation. A small part of the testis is removed, cut in fragments, frozen, and after thawing, the aim of this technique is to obtain spermatozoa. There are two ways to use immature testicular tissue. The first one is the autograft, either after injection, by injection of spermatogonia in the testis, or by autograft of fragment of testicular tissue. The second way is the in vitro spermatogenesis, but by now there is no birth in human because it's a new technology and the patients are very young and they are not old enough to want to have a baby. In conclusion, there is gonadotoxic treatment, and when a patient have gonadotoxic treatment, it's very important to inform patient about the technique of fertility preservation. And the fertility preservation technique can be proposed to adult men, women, children. For adult men, it's the sperm cryopreservation. For women, it's embryo, oocyte, and ovarian tissue cryopreservation. And for girls, only ovarian tissue cryopreservation by now. And for boys, testicular tissue cryopreservation. Thank you very much.